Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the KimUnity Soulutions Podcast, the only podcast that's inspiring humanity and leadership within and beyond the workplace. It is so good to be with you all today. I am your host, Kim the SME. As always, I am only speaking from my experiences. I hope you all are having a wonderful week. Today, we're going to be talking about a subject which is on my shirt. The shirt says, Corporate America couldn't handle me. And on the back it says, and that's okay. And so I've been really curious. Sometimes I get compliments. Sometimes I get weird eyes questioning, what does it mean? And to the people that have said, I love your shirt, I don't always get a chance to ask them, what is your perspective? How does it relate to you? I remember I was sitting on a plane one day and this young woman said, I really like your shirt. And I said, thank you so much, but she was bypassing me. And so I really wanted to know, what was your experience in corporate America? Why would you think that corporate America couldn't handle you? And so I said, since I can't always ask the question, let me just do an episode on it. Let me share my experiences and what I believe many of us have had. And you tell me if you agree, if you disagree, or even if you have other additions to add as to why corporate America couldn't handle you. Okay, are we ready? Let's do this. It can be seen as negative. Like I said, I have seen the negative facial expressions when I'm wearing this shirt, and it really shouldn't be like that. That's not exactly what it's about. It says, and that's okay on the back. And what I have realized is that sometimes you can be more helpful and more beneficial when you are outside of the company. Sometimes they take input and feedback better from outsiders than what they do on inside the workplace. So that's what I want to talk to you about. So when I see this shirt and when I created it, it was really about being genuine and wanting to do what's right for those in your team, for those in your organization, for the people around you. Just always having a positive attitude, really wanting understanding, wanting to ask questions just to make sure you understand correctly. And what I have found, and what many of us have found, is that those questions are not always welcome. Those questions can seem like we are creating an atmosphere of uncertainty. Some people take offense to it. Some people think that you are questioning their authority or questioning their knowledge or belittling them. And that's not the case at all. No one should be afraid of questions. You should be open to it, because that way it allows for clarity. It allows for understanding. It allows for you to broaden your knowledge, your awareness, and gives all of us a better understanding and a better way to be able to see how it plays out for the future. We all think differently. So just by answering one question for me, I'm able to see the bigger picture. And again, it's not about being combative. That's not what it is at all. But in turn, what we are finding is that we are then labeled difficult. We are considered that we're too much, or we're not a team player. And that's not the case at all. That is not the case at all. We are actually leading. We are actually standing in a place of integrity and wanting to do the best possible job we can. So that's what I want to talk to you today. So I made a list of different reasons why I say corporate America couldn't handle me, and that's okay, because I'm able to still help from the outside. Okay, so here we go. The first one is, like I said, I ask why. It's okay to ask why. It's okay to make sure you have an understanding, or make sure that even the people who are giving you the direction understand the impact. Because many times the people at the top that are making the decisions really don't have the systems knowledge, and I'm talking about corporate, don't have the systems knowledge, or don't understand how one system talks to the other, how the flow of information. So if you make one change on this side, how it impacts everyone down the line, whether it's your own department or whether it's someone else's. And so just by asking questions, we should be able to turn that into a more welcoming spirit, a more welcoming environment. And what happens is when management or when leadership does not welcome that, then that stifles all innovation, all creativity, all efficiency, ways to improve processes. Because when we are blocked from that information, we're not always going to be as comfortable to come up to you and give you the feedback that is so desperately needed to let you know, hey, this isn't working right, or hey, there's a problem. I foresee this. This may work in this instance, but over here, it may cause a problem. But what happens again when you voice your knowledge, when you share your thoughts, depending on who you're speaking to, it is not always welcomed. Okay? And then along with that no, some managers really just want you to say yes, regardless of how wrong that direction is. Prime example, and I'm just going to give out a generic example, okay? Let's say you went to a store and you bought something for $100. This happens to be in the month of April. You don't notice it, but it never did come out of your account because there was a glitch in the system. So you ended up buying something, you went through the process, you swiped your credit card, and you received the item, and you never really went back to your account to check to see, hey, did this transaction go through? But on the business side, we see that it didn't go through. Okay? This is in April. And so May goes, June, July, August, September, October, November, it is then found out or realized or identified by someone else that that transaction never went through. Some manager will say, hey, charge that card again because they received a product and they did not pay for it. But someone else will say, no, we have to count that as a loss because we waited too long to charge the card. And then I'm saying November, so you got to think about it. This is Thanksgiving. This is Christmas. This is when people are, really looking at their numbers and seeing what they can afford. And it was not the customer's error to begin with. So you tell me, write down in the chat, put it in the comments, should your card be charged? And I want you to speak from a business perspective, you the owner, and as the customer. And here's where the dilemma is, because I believe there truly is a right and wrong here. Number one, there is a time frame in when a card can be charged. You can't just go and create a transaction that has happened, months ago. But some people have no problem with correcting what was not done in the first place. What do you think? In this type of instance, I would say no, we need to count it as a loss. It was not the customer's fault. It was not caught in time. And, it's the holidays also. I don't want to be a part of it. So at some point, just because you're at a job, you cannot always say yes. That's how I feel. And this is another reason why sometimes corporate America can't handle you, because they want you to put aside your morals or put aside your integrity or put aside whatever that is going against what they desire. Okay, so that's another reason. So, and there's some people who are scared to say no. This also brings up emotional intelligence. I'm putting myself in the customer's shoes. I'm understanding the holidays. I'm understanding that they're not looking at this transaction as not being processed. And so how emotionally intelligent are you? Are the people that you're dealing with, are they putting themselves in those shoes? And that's just one example, one generic example of reasons why some people believe that corporate America couldn't handle them, because they're not afraid to say no. They're not afraid to stand on their own morals and their own lines of integrity. They don't mind asking why, asking questions, wanting to get more details about something. The other thing is some managers try to rule by an iron fist. Do this now. Do this. They're very strict in their tone and their mannerisms and their approach, instead of being more as a coach and trying to get an understanding and make the environment more welcoming and more understanding, so that they will be more comfortable learning and growing there. They will be more comfortable coming to managers saying, hey, I need help. I don't understand this. Getting more clarity and understanding, because that's what increases and improves performance. When you focus on the people and their needs, performance improves as well as profits. And when more companies take this approach and really understand this, then the world will be a better place for sure. Also, weighing multiple options. This falls along the same lines as asking why. Is there another way? And for us to really understand the root of the problem, to identify that and find out, okay, here's the root of the problem. If here's a solution, if we do this, then here's the pros, here's the cons. Here's another solution. Instead of just taking what's been fed, really thinking about that and asking questions. Not saying that you're going to be right all the time, but asking the necessary questions that is needed in order to weed out any uncertainties or any challenges that may be found down the road. It's okay to ask questions. That's why corporate America couldn't handle me. And that's okay. And I say that in the most gentlest way, because now I'm able to share my experiences and go into the workplace and speak for those who can't, and improve those leader and team relationships, rebuild that communication, rebuild the accountability and performance systems. That's what it's all about. What I'm doing now is what I was doing then. And what I have found is that it is way more welcoming to hear it from somebody outside of the organization. Unfortunately, because now it costs them more. Also, when you start defending your name, when you just don't take any falsehoods that are said about you, or when you challenge the status quo, when that evaluation is inaccurate, to the fullest. Yes, there can be some slights where I saw it this way and you saw it that way. I can understand that. But when it is blatantly wrong and there are, multiple falsehoods, even one is unacceptable for me. It's something that was never discussed. It was never brought up. Just all of a sudden, it's time for your performance evaluation and it's there. And you're like, what is this? This never happened. What is going on? No, this needs to be changed. There's no documentation. A conversation was never had. This right here has never happened. So when you start challenging those types of situations and conversations, it's not welcomed. It's not welcomed. Let's see, what else do I have here? When you don't play or participate in company politics, when someone is always talking about this one employee and then their sides being taken. It could be where someone doesn't get a position. Someone has said something about another staff member and now they cannot be promoted. For some reason that is not work related at all. Those are politics. And that's not something that I played around with. And I didn't really tolerate the gossip. Please don't come to me with your problems when you are not escalating it, when you are not addressing it yourself. Because what we find is that a whole department is upset. A whole department, whole teams are unhappy with something that's going on, but only one person is speaking about it. Everyone else is going about their day-to-day jobs. Either they are avoiding it or, disregarding it. They're definitely not addressing it. They're definitely not, making it known that it's a challenge, except for to the people that they are working with that don't have the role of responsibility to fix it. It needs to be taken up with that particular person or escalated. Well, you're just wasting my time if you're coming over here to gossip and complain, because I really don't want to hear about it. Unless you're going to do what you need to do to make it known, to make it understood, in hopes for it getting resolved, then please don't come to me. And again, I believe that's part of company politics and the gossip, and I really just don't like it. I just don't like it. Another thing about corporate America, some people will say couldn't handle them, would be about being able to lead without a title. There's so many people in the workplace that live and die on their title. Well, I am this. I am chief this and that. I am manager. I am senior super. It's like, come on, man. All that's not even necessary. I'm just trying to help you here. Just because people have titles doesn't mean that they know everything. And just because you have a title doesn't mean you can speak to anyone however you choose. A title doesn't give you that. And so again, when I say corporate America couldn't handle me, corporate is only people. Corporate is only people. When you hear about corporate America, it's not the actual building itself. It's not the office itself. It's the people within it. When there are titles, when there are people who, like I said, are so dependent on those titles and believe that that title determines everything outside of pay, there's some friction there. There becomes friction because you can have a title and still not be a leader. You can be a leader and not have that big title. You can go into many warehouses and there is someone on that floor that has all the knowledge, has been there all the years. It's someone that those team members go to when they need help, when they need direction, when they need clarification, and they show them how to do it. They provide examples. They become the go-to because they have that knowledge and they have that experience and they know how to talk to people. And they care. And that's what true leadership is. It is not based on title, and some people really don't understand that. If you are just tuning in, I am talking about this shirt that I have on that says, corporate America couldn't handle me. And on the back it says, and that's okay. And so I am really just going through the list of things that I've written down of reasons why someone, including myself, would say, these are areas in which I believe corporate America couldn't handle me. And so far I've said things as of the title, as of being able to say no, even when it's uncomfortable. Even when everyone else wants you to say yes. Asking why. Because you don't understand or you need clarity. And I really think that is a big one because they say we work in these silos. And silos just means off to ourselves. It is so important to find out how our work impacts the bigger picture. How it impacts other departments, other teammates. Because with that knowledge, we're able to make better decisions. We're able to streamline. We're able to become more efficient. And that's where change should come from. The people who actually have the hands in it. The people who actually see it every day. The people who using these systems or using these reports. Just something to think about. I've also talked about asking too many questions. That could be considered some of the why questions. Some managers want you to only speak when you're spoken to. Again, that comes down to that whole authority piece and titles, entitlement, telling the truth even when it's uncomfortable, doing the right thing. If you're walking in the mall, if you are at the grocery store and you see someone with a shirt that says, "Corporate America couldn't handle me," what would you think? What goes through your head? I'm sure there's some of you out there who are listening would think, "Oh, she's hard to work with. She's difficult. He is not someone I would hire." And so all I'm doing today, ladies and gents, is just giving you the other side of that. Telling you that perspectives are important. And before you judge, before you jump to conclusions, maybe you should start asking why. Maybe you should start getting a better understanding. And we all do in certain areas. We all need to get better understandings. When someone wears a shirt that bold, any kind of shirt that bold, it should open up conversation, not close doors. Let's change that. Start the conversation. Share your experiences. Listen to others. Is there commonality? Is there relatability? Because that's what it's all about. When you are a true problem solver, when you are a true truth seeker, when you are a bridge builder, when you are a leader, that is what you do. You're not so quick to judge. You ask questions. You get a better understanding. And when doing that, you should not be punished for it, within or outside of the workplace. That is what I have for you all today. I am your host, Kim the SME. As always, I am only speaking from my experiences. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to, even if you disagree with me, I welcome that. Until next time, you all, be blessed. Bye.